So guys, our topic today, I know this is probably gonna shock you, but we're gonna talk a little bit about goals. When we get around the first of the year, I get goal crazy. For those of you that haven't picked up on that yet, I'm a big fan of creating goals, and then I'm a big fan of doing the activity, the controllable activity it takes to reach those goals. You'll often hear the difference between a goal and a commitment. And I wanted to kind of really define that real quickly, guys. I've got Casey Fines, who you heard wrote, $5,600 of premium yesterday. So just to be clear, Casey has hit her goal for this week, which was originally $2,680 of premium. So she's hit her goal, and she will be receiving a 5% bonus, assuming a couple other things happen. I believe it was 20 demos and 30 hours worked, which she'll probably hit that today after 3 days. Guys, goals are sales, okay? GAP, how much gross annualized premium, those are goals, okay? That's what we want to hit, okay? Demos and hours, these things over here, these are what we can refer to as commitments, because we can control that. Things that we can control, we can commit to. Things that we can't control, those are more goals, if that makes sense. But we do know that if we control what we can control, as we like to call it, the controllables, which is what time we go to work, what time we go home, and then what we do between those two times, how many demonstrations we give, that our goals happen, period. It's just how it works. So, guys, what you're seeing in front of you, this is and there's a couple folks on here that are newer and taking a look at our business, and I want to share with you, this is a tool that we use to figure out exactly how much controllable activity that we need to put in based on our current skill level to achieve our goals. And so there's a couple moving parts in here. There's your contract level, your first year contract level, new commissions. There's your renewal commissions right here, which Casey and I talked about the other day. The renewal factor for 1% would be 0.06, which is going to make this multiplied times 6. As soon as I hit that, it makes it a lot bigger. And then you got your average transaction size. Now, Casey's, between you guys and me, it's about 2,000 and some change. We're putting 1,000 on hers, but just to be, because over time, that's going to come down. It may not come down to 1,000. It may be closer to 1,200, but right now it's over 2,000, which is pretty large. Why do you guys think that I encouraged Casey to put down 1,000, which is probably what's going to be over time, than using that current $2,000 number? Going once.
Intensive care.
Because it's more realistic.
More realistic.
It's more realistic. That's right. It's more realistic, guys. If we put 2,000 in here, watch what happens to her demos needed and hours needed. Okay, it's going to cut it in half, right? Puts down, instead of 24 demos this week, she needs 12. Instead of 44 hours this week, 22. Now, that puts a lot of pressure on her really selling big packages to the people that she meets. Because if she's going to sell 1.3 customers, that customer better buy a Whopper, right? Now, this week, that's happened, okay? But eventually, Casey's going to run into some people that can only afford to buy Preferred. Or she's going to run into some people that don't have a family, and they max out on a single person plan at the elite level at only $900 of annual premium. I mean, that's just going to happen here and there. Now, her closing percentage is going up dramatically each and every week, and her hour to demo ratio is coming down each week. It's gotten better every single week here. It's 1.82 now. She's working to get that down towards 1.5, 1.6, meaning a demo every hour and a half or every 1.6 hours, whatever that is, hour and 36 minutes. So working on those things. And as those things adjust, mid-quarter or end of the quarter, we'll go in here and she'll adjust this. Matter of fact, it was kind of cool. When she first created these goals, her contract was 30%, which meant that she needed to do more sales and more work to get to that level. She hit her first raise just this past week, so let's not be lost on that. Congratulations on that, Casey. First raise with the company after 3 weeks. So $25,000 of premium in 3 weeks at a 30% clip. That was $8,000 plus another $4,000 or $5,000 of bonuses. So not a bad start. And again, we're going to use 1,000 right here as her package size. So guys, we've got this now. Okay, we know exactly how much cash flow, what she needs 537 to cash flow. And she was very, very specific. I mean, you can put the significance of this amount of cash flow, what's the money going towards, very specific. Okay. When we first sat down, she didn't really have much here. And it was just kind of bills. Well, I got bills. Well, everybody's got bills every week. That's not very specific. Remember, guys, specific is terrific. Okay. Another one for you to write down there. They tell us about a BNI. If you ask for a referral that says, hey, I want to get referred to anybody that can get cancer, that's not very specific. That's everybody in the whole world, and you usually get no referrals. But if you ask for, hey, I'd like to know if someone knows one of the owners at XYZ Plumbing Company or anyone in HR there, and someone goes, oh, I go to church with a lady who's married to the man who works at XYZ Plumbing. I can make an introduction there. That's specific. You're going to get that introduction. So specific is terrific. But she knows exactly what she needs to sell this week, 2,680. Okay. She knows that it takes her 2.7 or 3 transactions, okay, to do that. 24 demonstrations needed based on an 11% closing percentage and 44 hours. But, oddly enough, she did it in her first 22, 23 hours. So she's really already there and it's cash flowed already over, I think, $1,500 for the week. So congratulations on that, Casey. So guys, you're taking this, okay, that's step 1. Step 2, as we talked about, is having a bit of a tracking system involved that you use on a weekly basis to keep up with that. And for that, I'm going to shift gears and I'm going to share.
Don't worry about it. I can use the phone, I guess.
Here we go.
Well, we can try this next time. I think I've got it.
Hey guys, if you're talking in the background, we can definitely hear you. Just hit mute, please. Thank you. Someone with their probably lovely spouse, it sounded like. Guys, this is, I'm shifting gears. This is Todd Stiles, okay? And then this is his leadership VPF, okay? Now, just because I said the word leadership, if you're not currently a manager, if you're not currently managing a person, don't shut down. Listen, keep your ears open, okay? Because there's a good chance that if you do this, you will be in a leadership position very quickly, and you're going to need to track this stuff anyway. But this is actually personal. So this is Q1 personal, and Todd did the same exercise on a different spreadsheet that Casey did that you saw. This one, guys, is actually for the entire year, okay? It's got the 2021 calendar on there. It's got Q1 personal goals. Todd even has his Q1 team goals for each week. But I want to share with you in his personal. So this is his goals for last week, the week of Christmas. Okay, Todd already knew that he was off on Christmas on Friday, Christmas Eve, and then the day before Wednesday. He'd already had plans made for that for ways back. So his hour goal last week was 15. His demo goal last week was 10. His premium goal last week was 1,500, and he knew based on his he needed to protect five families. Okay, because of the week of Christmas. So Todd actually took his actuals from last week and then he plugged them in. So he got 12 hours, 9 demos, $1,845 of premium and 6 families protected. Okay. So what this does, guys, is this tracks you and your progress towards your goals in real time. Okay. The other spreadsheet I shared with you, while it's great to calculate your controllable activity, it doesn't really have a tracking mechanism included. Okay. So it needs to be supplemented with this one. Okay. And it's really simple. Okay. If you haven't saved one of these yet and created it, I would encourage you to do so today. When we get off, I've emailed this link out multiple times and I can certainly do it one more time today, which I'll look for Nicole's email and send it to you. But I would encourage you to save a copy for yourself and then plug in your goals for each week of the quarter from your other spreadsheet, your demo commitments for each week, your premium, and then whether it's families protected or whatever you want to put in here. If you want to put in enrollment set, okay, you can put whatever you want to, dealer's choice in these other columns over here. Okay. So here's the cool thing. When Todd, he had a goal of 15, but he worked 12 hours. That tells him right there that he's 3 hours shy of that particular commitment year to date. Okay. Then he knows, okay, well, if I want to get back on track with that, I've just got to put in 18 hours this week instead of 15, and I'm right back on track. You watch what happens when he puts in 18. His deficit goes to 0, right on track. If he had 20 hours this week, he would be +2 hours ahead of his goal. Really cool deal. I'll delete that for now. Same thing on his demos. He planned 10, he got 9. So he's 1 behind for the quarter. Guys, that's not a big deal to be 1 behind. What's challenging though is if we don't ever make that up, we become 2 behind, and then 5 behind, and then 13 behind. And 13 behind, guys, that's basically like taking off a half a week and losing a half a week of production. So remember, the success is found kind of in the mundane. It's in our daily routine. And it's just we want to be a habit of hitting our commitments, okay? And if we don't hit them one week, we need to make sure that we do something the following week to make up for it then, not compound it and keep staying behind, okay? When that happens, guys, and we get behind, or 5 out of the first 6 weeks, we look at ourselves after 6 weeks and we're like, we just throw our goals out the window because we don't believe we can hit them anymore, okay? So it's important from the get-go right here in week 2 of our sales year to be on pace, to start off on track. Todd's goal was $1,500 last week. He wrote $1,845, so he's $345 ahead of his projections right out of the gate, and he's ahead on his family's protected too. So now over here on QT, I don't know exactly what the team did, but the goal was to have 5 submit last week. I believe there were at least 4, which that'll get plugged in, preferably today. For net premium for the team, not exactly sure what that was, but you plug that in there. And then Todd didn't have a plan for any new recruits last week. And by the way, a new recruit, guys, that's not a field recruit or someone you just spoke to one time. That's a new person that's been hired, that's gotten licensed, that's attended sales academy and sold a policy. Okay, so a little bit more detailed with this, but Todd has a plan to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total recruits for the quarter, with the first one coming through sales academy and hitting the field week after next, the week of 1/11. So, guys, we get what we focus on, we get what we track. Okay, so guys, I shared this yesterday with a group of leaders, and I'm going to share this with you now too. So, doesn't it make sense, right? If you're going to track yourself throughout the quarter, you're going to be more likely to end up the quarter having achieved what you want to. With Todd tracking this, he's a lot more likely to hit 104 submitting agents. And by the way, if you guys are new, if your roster is 10 people, you'll probably have 7 or 8 of those people submit business any given week. We typically have 75, 80% of our agents submit business every week, okay? But that's how many agents in his organization are submitting business. So you can see as the quarter goes along, it grows because he's adding new people to the team. We're recruiting, okay? And new people always submit business. That's just how it works. So guys, it makes sense if you're going to track yourself on a quarterly basis on a macro level, that you would also want to track yourself each week on more of a micro level. And so guys, I want to share this with you. This is our legacy stat site, okay? And by the way, when you log in on the legacy stat site, it's your work email address, and then I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but isn't the password for the website just legacy123 or something real simple? If one person can respond, that would be
Mine's not.
super
Mine's
helpful.
personal. I had to create my own.
You've created your own. Okay, so everybody's got their own then. My computer just logs it in automatically and memorizes it, so I couldn't even tell you. But I think I've got it written in my phone somewhere in a contact. But so when you log in, guys, you can enter your stats. Okay, you can go in here and after each day, you can go to stats entry and plan, and you can enter in what you did that day. So for example, it takes a second for it to kind of think. So just be patient. Okay, so stats entry. You go to Monday. All right, what I actually did. Okay, I started my day. I was in the office at 7:45, getting rocking and rolling for the meeting, and I ended my day at 6:15 on Monday. Okay, now had I been out in the field as an active agent, I probably would have had about 15 contacts for that day. Would have had 6 demos. Probably would have had eight total intros. Because you don't always get to the full demo. Sometimes you get cut off at the buying atmosphere. Probably would have protected 2 families. Probably would have sold them 3 policies. That would have been about $1,876 a gap, give or take. would have at least had one field recruit, probably two. Probably would talk to that many people. And I don't know about any phone dials that day. So guys, when you go and you hit that and you hit save, it'll actually take a second to get this little ball back and forth. It'll take about 6 or 7 seconds to actually save it. I think there's a little wheel inside the computer with a mouse, and it's got to give it time to kind of get going. Okay, I'm kidding about the wheel and the mouse. But so now that is saved. So if I go into my WGP, it shows exactly what I did. 10.5 hours, six demos, 15 contacts, 3 policies sold, 1876, and 2 field recruits for the day. Guys, if you'll notice, there's actually a column next to the actual. It's called planned. Okay. Guys, I want you to write down these 5 P's. Okay. The 5 P's are very important. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Those are your 5 P's. Proper planning prevents poor performance. So guys, doesn't it make sense? Because guys, execution doesn't happen monthly, doesn't happen quarterly or annually. Execution actually doesn't even happen weekly. Execution happens daily and even hourly. Okay, because of that, we have got to make sure that we have got daily goals. Okay, so I'm going to go back to plan and stats entry. Okay, and guys, this seems like a tedious process right now with me going through it, but I promise you, once you've done it twice, it'll take you about 6 to 7 minutes each weekend to have this all set up. So guys, if I'm an agent out in the field, what I'm doing is I'm going in here and I'm putting in my intentions. Okay, I've got them written down. These are my intentions for each day of the week. Okay, I'm planning on working 8 to 6 on Monday. I'm planning on getting at least 15 contacts. I'm going to get 6 demonstrations. I'm planning to protect 2 families, 4 applications. I'm planning to have $2,000 of GAP, and I'm planning to have at least 2 recruits. Okay. Now I can do that for each day of the week. I don't have to hit save and wait for all that mess. I can go to Tuesday. Again, Tuesday I'm getting started a little bit early. I want to make sure I get a demo in or meet a business owner before the 8 a.m. Zoom. So I'm starting at 7:30. I can meet at least 1, and I'm going to 5:30. Okay. Again, I'm planning on getting at least 15 contacts, 6 demonstrations. I'm going to protect 2 families, 4 applications, at least $2,000 of premium, because that's just how I roll. All right. And 2 direct recruits. It continues on. You can do it for every single day of the week. I'm going to stop after Wednesday because I think you guys get the idea. Again, Wednesday, 7:30, let's meet someone before the Zoom, because you never know. Good things happen. The early bird gets the worm. I'm working until 6 because that's how I do it. I'm going to have 15 calls. Now I know I've got an enrollment that day, so I'm probably actually going to have a couple less calls. So I got an enrollment. I'm probably going to have a few more demos, more like 8 demos. And I'm probably knowing because my enrollments, I close a lot more. I'm going to have at least 6 customers and sell at least 10 policies. Okay. My premium that day will also be at least a green out. Okay. And I'm going to still have 2 direct recruits because that's just my goal for each day. I'm going to talk to 2 people about an opportunity to work with us. So guys, I could go on and do Thursday and Friday as well, but I'm just going to stop right here and hit save all. Okay. So guys, it's going to take a couple seconds. That little dot will bounce back and forth while the mice and the wheel do their thing. For those of you that don't know, there's not really any mice in the computer. That was just kind of a joke. Okay. So guys, the cool thing is you go over here now to your WGP and check this out. It's actually got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, my commitments, what I've committed to doing. My 10 hours on Monday, 10 hours on Tuesday, 10.5 on Wednesday, my demos, 6, 6, and 8, my contacts for each day, my policy sold plan for each day. So that tells me, after Monday, okay, the plan was 6, I got 6 demos, I'm right on the spot. I'm 30 minutes ahead. I got my calls in. Oops, wanted to plan sell 4, sold 3. Okay, the goal was to sell $2,000. Looks like the goal was to sell $20,000 of premium on Monday. A little extra 0 snuck in there, but I sold 1876. I was just a smidge shy. So that lets me know that, okay, I've got $124 or so to make up this week. I'm going to make sure I make that up before the end of the week. you guys see it's small things that add up to medium-sized things. The small things are daily, medium-sized are weekly, bigger things are monthly, large things are quarterly, and that adds up to gigantic things, which are years. But it all starts off daily, okay? Guys, one of the coolest features about this too is you can go over here to personal VPF. And this is something that'll take you 6 to 7 minutes, okay? It'll take you less time to do this than it takes to type out your weekly VPF and weekly business review document. But when you do this, guys, you come over here and you can go to all stats, and it'll show you every single week of the quarter right there in one place. It'll show you your goal for the week and then your actuals, everything that you've done on a big macro level where you are. So guys, if you're at the end of January, as people oftentimes find themselves in January a little behind. Why? It's because this thing called annualized thinking. And I'm going to share that with you here just to kind of wrap up. But it's this thought that, man, there's something magical that's going to happen later in the year that's going to help me get caught up and hit my goals. And guys, annualized thinking can wreck years. So, but yeah, that person, you can actually go in here in personal VPF, and if you just want all stats, you can. If you just want your hours, hey, how am I doing on keeping up with my hours? It'll tell you exactly what your goal was for each week and in total hours. It'll put the 45 or 50, whatever it is, and then it'll put what you actually did. Guys, it's a personal accountability piece, and that's really what it's there for. But I'll pause for a second, guys. Any comments, any blinding flashes of the obvious from any of that? Probably should find a better way to ask that question, but any comments at all from any leaders that might want to say something here?
Van, sorry, I was scrambling some eggs. I have not really wrote my goals down in that form, that organized. I guess I've never used the metrics you've given me other than just the quarterly VPFs. I do plan on using this a lot more thoroughly because just as Todd did last week, I can see how keeping that in front of you is probably the most important thing. Is just keeping it in front of you can nudge you whether or not you go out an extra hour or two on Friday or if you hit your goals early. But the books I'm reading right now, one of those, I Dare You, which I'm starting because it starts next week. They all say the same thing. You have got to measure your progress because you will not just, fingers crossed, tomorrow's going to happen. I'm going to hit everything. That's not going to happen. And I played the game that way too long and it just doesn't work. So getting organized and tracking everything.
Right on. Thank you for sharing that, Zach. Guys, I'm gonna end today's training with a little piece. This is it's a snippet from a book called The 12-Week Year. The author right now escapes me. Anybody knows it, please? It's Brian Moran. Actually, that didn't take very long to find that one, but it's called The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. Great read. I would encourage you to get that book and read it. But this is one of the early chapters of the book. It's called Discard Annualized Thinking. It's something that the president of our company, Ken Matson, shared with the agency owners. It's probably been a decade ago, but it really struck me about how important today is. And then we'll wrap up on this. And if anybody has any comments, feel free to share. But most people and organizations, for that matter, don't lack ideas, whether it's effective marketing techniques, sales ideas, cost-cutting measures, or customer service enhancements. There's always more ideas than you can effectively implement. The breakdown is not knowing, but in applying. Interestingly, annual goals and plans are often a barrier to high performance. As we work with clients over the years, we've noticed an interesting pattern emerging. Most of them believed either consciously or unconsciously that their success and failure was determined by what they had achieved over the course of a year. They set annual goals. They created annual plans. They even evaluated their success annually. Although this is certainly much better than not having any goals or plans at all, we found that this annual process inherently limits performance, affects effective execution doesn't happen monthly, quarterly, or annually. The trap is what we call annualized thinking. At the heart of annualized thinking is an unspoken belief that there's plenty of time in the year to make things happen. Think about it. We begin the year with big goals, but by the end of January, we usually find ourselves slightly behind where we need to be. While we're certainly not pleased, we're not worried either, because we think to ourselves, I got plenty of time. I've got 11 more months to catch up, okay? Some of you guys are going, At the end of March, we're still a bit behind. But again, we're not too worried. Why? Because we think we've still got plenty of time to catch up. Still got 3 quarters, right? And this thought pattern prevails throughout the year. We mistakenly believe that there's lots of time left in the year, and we act accordingly without a sense of urgency, okay? Not realizing that every week is important, every day is important, every moment is important, every goal period, every 60-minute goal period is important. Ultimately, effective execution happens daily and weekly, okay? Not annually, monthly, quarterly, any of that stuff. Happens in the minutia. In an annual environment, it becomes easy to put off difficult activities and decisions. It's not uncommon for people in September or as early as August to begin deferring decisions to the next calendar year. Often annualized thinking is so subtle, it's hard to notice, let alone challenge. If you have any doubts, think about how productive you are the day before you leave on vacation. In most cases, you're more focused and you have greater energy. Your pace is quicker and you move from one task to the next with very little downtime. Now, maybe the thought of being that productive each day scares you, but you have to admit the opportunity to be more productive and effective is compelling. Last little part here, guys, and we're wrapping up. Another flawed premise with annualized thinking is the notion that sometime later in the year, we will experience a significant improvement in our results. It's as if something magical will happen in late September or October that will result in a substantial increase. My closing percentage will go from 16% to 35% in the fourth quarter, just to help me hit my goals. If we can't produce a substantial increase in January, why do we think we can do it for the entire year? The fact is, every week counts. Every day counts. Every moment counts. We need to be conscious of the reality that execution happens daily and weekly, not monthly or quarterly. In past years, we help our clients construct annual plans that were broken down into quarterly plans with monthly and weekly goals. However, the goals were still set within the context of a year, and so annualized thinking thwarted effective execution and limited performance. We soon realized that was a mistake. We found through experience that annualized thinking and planning more often than not leads to less than optimal performance. In order to perform at your best, you need to get out of the annual mode and scrub your annualized thinking. Stop thinking in terms of a year. Instead, focus on shorter frames. Discard your annualized thinking and watch what happens. And a question that I wrote down to myself down here at the bottom: how can we not only do this, but how can we help our agents do this? So guys, that's my question for you: is how can we help you do this? I just love to have 1 or 2 people just comment before we wrap up. But what's something that we can do to help discard that annualized thinking and focus on today?
Hey, Van, it's CJ. One thing that I have that's a takeaway from that, look at what happened last year. A lot of people that were here at the start of the year last year had big goals for, throughout the whole entire year. And then obviously the pandemic happened. We never really know what's going to happen during the year. We could be looming on another lockdown as well. So it's super important to make every single day count. CJ,
thank you. It wasn't raining when Noah built the ark, right? You don't want to wait until this torrential downpour is coming to start building that ark. It's time to build it now before something happens, so we're prepared. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else, guys, before we wrap?
I got something, Ben. This is Richard. Yesterday, I was listening to the SoundCloud, Nathan Turborg. It was a thing by him. It was set your own goals and blow your own damn mind. I listened to it 3 times yesterday. It It's about an hour long, but it's by Amanda, who is a, an agent. And she just talks about having a daily goal, a weekly goal, a monthly goal, a 6-month goal, and a why. And just, I'm not a note taker. I'm not, but I probably took 3 pages of notes just on that thing. And I was listening to it because there is so many different tidbits of information and things that she does that I'm like, dang, I need to do this. This is something I need to do. I need to start doing. Like I said, it's about 50 minutes long or so, but it's called Set Your Own Goals and Blow Your Own Damn Mind.
So guys, what I'm doing, thank you for sharing that. Because that is awesome. Guys, if you haven't already, SoundCloud is really simple to use. It's soundcloud.com. If you're going on your computer, there's an app for it as well. All you do is use an email, create your own password, and then you can log right in there and just hit Nathan Terborg.
Yep. Okay.
Who is an incredible individual. And you can find his, he's got a lot of content in here, but one in particular is Sharpening the Saw. There's about 20 episodes of that. And yeah, did you say the Shattering Belief Barriers?
Yes, I listened to that one as well. But no, it's called, the name of it is I'm looking at it now. I had to go through and look. I've listened to it. I just basically what I did is I went into the SoundCloud, typed in Nathan Terborg, and then just play all, and it's just on like a constant next one up, one up. Just listen to it.
That's brilliant.
It makes it easy. You don't even have to search. You just.
And guys, there's actually a link to that on the Protect One Family website, right where all the other audios are. There's a link to all the SoundCloud videos right there on the Protect One Family website as well.
Yeah, but that I mean, it just reminded me of you as you're going through setting goals, and it just popped in my head. And she said it probably 5 times: set your own goals and blow your own damn mind. And that's the title of that's the title of it. I'll see if I can't get.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Yeah. 49
minutes and 57 seconds in all its glory. Some of these guys run 35 minutes. Some of these run closer to an hour, but man, they're all, good gosh, they're all well worth it. It is gold on here.
It's worth every minute.
Yeah, absolutely. And every topic's on there, and losing the ego, friends and family intro. If you're going to talk to folks, hey, there's a good one. Advice from the all-time first-year record holder. I bet that's incredible. 46 minutes and 20 seconds of just pure incredibleness. How to have a monster train more. Guys, that would be a really, really good one. Given that next week is Train More 1, it's a week where we're clearing the decks. It's a week for some of us where, based on what we just shared earlier, we may be a little bit behind on our first 2 weeks goals. This is week 3, first Train More. It may be worth listening to this, acting on that, and really clearing the decks, like telling our spouse today, Wednesday this week, not Sunday night. Oh, by the way, honey, tomorrow morning, starting at 8, to train more. No, that's too late. Now's the time to start setting up and clearing the decks and letting your spouse know that, honey, I got to be out the door by 7 because I got to make sure that I've walked into a couple of businesses before the short 8 o'clock Zoom because it's going to be a huge week. I'm going to be home a little late because I'm going to be taking some of those yes cards that have addresses, and I'm going to be going to see some of those people in the evening after 5:30 or after 6. Okay, to maximize my day. Guys, the people that write $20, $25, $30, $50, $60,000 a premium on Train Mores, they're not showing up at 9 a.m. and clocking out at 4:30. Okay, like they might have done the week before. They're putting in more effort. That effort is putting in more focus, and that focus is getting drastically more results. So I would encourage you guys. Tools are wonderful. They're only helpful though if we use them. So would definitely challenge you guys, use this tool. And I would, again, listen to some of these, especially listen to this Sharpening the Saw episode 12, how to have a monster train more. That's required listening between now and Saturday. So be sure that you listen to that. Just press play on your phone, listen to it while you're driving out to turf today or driving home this evening, but take some good notes and implement. So guys, thank you so much for being on. Thank you guys that commented today. Appreciate you. And that's a wrap for today. So we got today, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Let's have the biggest final day that we've ever had for 2020 and kiss it goodbye in style on a high note. Because guys, the way we end one thing is the way we start the next thing. And we're in the last 2 days of ending 2020 right now. Let's end it strong. Let's start 2021 even stronger. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.